Good evening and welcome to Breaking Ground. I'm Adani Slogans. We bring you this special update coming in from the Parliament, where the Prime Minister has just concluded a little over an hour ago his reply to the motion of thanks to the President's address in the upper house, that is the Rajya Sabha. But this was amidst chants and the din where opposition MPs stormed into the well and started chanting slogans against the Prime Minister and also demanding a response as far as the allegations pertaining to the Prime Minister and Adani were concerned, which have been levelled by opposition leaders. And very clearly, of course, the Prime Minister chose to focus his speech on the policies of the Congress in the past that were, he alleged, were biased, and that how his government has changed all of these policies and in fact is paving the way for Naya Bharat. Listen into this blistering attack coming in from the Prime Minister.
और आदरणीय सभापति जी, देश देख रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है। अरे नारे बोलने के लिए भी उनको बदल करना पड़ता है। जो भी ये बोलता है, जन के फर्ज से आवाज की जवाब देना। आदरणीय सभापति जी, एक कन्विक्शन के कारण चला हूं, देश के लिए जीता हूं, देश के लिए कुछ करने के लिए निकला हुआ हूं, और इसलिए ये राजनीतिक खेल खेलने वाले लोग, उनके अंदर वो हौसला नहीं है, वो ढूंढ रहे हैं, बचने का रास्ता खोज रहे हैं। आदरणीय सभापति जी, राष्ट्रपति जी के उम्दा भाषण को, राष्ट्रपति जी के मार्गदर्शक भाषण को, आजादी के अनेक दशकों के बाद भी इस देश में 18,000 से ज्यादा गांव ऐसे थे जहां बिजली नहीं पहुंचती थी, और ये गांव अधिकतर हमारे आदिवासी बस्ती के गांव थे, हमारे पहाड़ों पर जिंदगी गुजारने वालों के लोगों के गांव थे, जनजातीय से गांव थे, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के गांव थे। लेकिन ये उनके चुनाव के हिसाब किताब में बैठता नहीं था, इसलिए इनकी प्रायोरिटी नहीं था। हम जानते थे ये कठिन काम इन्होंने छोड़ दिए हैं। हमने कहा हम तो मक्खन पे लकीर करने वाले नहीं, पत्थर पे लकीर करने वाले लोग हैं। हम इस चुनौती को भी उठाएंगे। देश हमारे साथ है। कांग्रेस को बार बार देश नकार रहा है, लेकिन कांग्रेस और उसके साथी अपनी साजिशों से बाज नहीं आते हैं, और जनता ये देख भी रही है और उनको हर मौके पर सजा भी देती रही। जब सरकार की मशीनरी का लक्ष्य हर पात्र व्यक्ति तक पहुंचने का हो, तो भेदभाव, पक्षपात टिक ही नहीं सकता। इसलिए हमारा ये 100% सेवा अभियान, सोशल जस्टिस, सामाजिक न्याय, इसका बहुत बड़ा सशक्त माध्यम है। यही सामाजिक न्याय की असली गारंटी है, यही सच्ची पंथ निरपेक्षता है, यही सच्चा सेकुलरिज्म है। हम देश को विकास का ये मॉडल दे रहे हैं, जिसमें हितधारक सबको उनके हक मिले।
After the PM's speech, opposition also lashed out at the Prime Minister, saying that he had not answered on the key issues and the charges that were levelled as far as the entire Adani issue were concerned. And they said that the Prime Minister's comments were in fact attacking the Congress party and discussing issues which were way back in the past rather than talking about what is happening in the current.
बोलने की शैली है, मगर अंदर से वो दुखी होंगे। क्योंकि दुखी इसलिए होंगे कि आज जो देश के हालात हैं, जो प्रश्न देश कर रहा है, उसके वो जवाब देने को तैयार नहीं है। लोग चाह रहे थे कि अडानी जी पे जो प्रश्न उठे हैं कल, वो लोकसभा में जवाब देते, एक शब्द नहीं बोला। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी डिमांड कर रही थी कि यहाँ भी कुछ बोलें, यहाँ भी कुछ नहीं बोला। और सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम तो ये है कि खरगे साहब जो LOP हैं और कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट हैं, वो एक पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर लेके कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं, उनको बोलने नहीं दिया गया। और वो क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि कल पहली बार भारत के इतिहास में, पार्लियामेंट के इतिहास में एक LOP का भाषण वर्चुअली एक्सपेंस कर दिया गया है। राहुल जी का एक्सपंज किया गया है इन लोकसभा यहाँ राज्यसभा। तो इस प्रकार से अगर हम प्रजातंत्र को चलाना चाहते हैं तो ये प्रजातंत्र मोदी जी को मैं उनको मुबारक है। आई डोंट थिंक ऐसा प्रजातंत्र देश चाहता है।
तो शुरू से लेकर अंत तक नारे हम लोगों ने एक ही लगाए कि मोदी अडानी भाई भाई देश बेच के खाई मलाई। आज देश के संसाधनों को एक आदमी के हवाले आपने कर दिया, तो हम जेपीसी की मांग कर रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी उसको पूरी करें हमारी मांग। या कोई कुश्ती लड़नी है, दंगल लड़ना है क्या उनसे? वो सब पे भारी है, सबको पटक देंगे, बड़े पहलवान हैं। ये क्या बात है भाई, ये क्या बात है? आपसे जेपीसी की मांग की जा रही है भ्रष्टाचार के एक मामले में। आप कह रहे हैं हम भारी हैं, हम सबको पटक देंगे। अरे भाई कुश्ती थोड़ी हो रही है, आप प्रधानमंत्री हो यार देश के। ये क्या बात है?
Across to our guest joining us with us is Karan Verma, author. We also have with us Manasvi Thapar, lawyer. Manasvi, I want to come to you first for perhaps the first time that when the Prime Minister was speaking, and this is normally, at least in my knowledge, there hasn't been another scene like this, that when the Prime Minister is speaking, he's greeted only by continuous chants and slogans from the opposition. Unprecedented what has been seen today inside the House. Manasvi Thapar.
Madhav, whenever there is a parliamentary session, we always see unprecedented events, and every day there is a new law in the Indian political system. That's very well known now in the current scenario. Now, what comes to the basic question of the burning question of this country is that why don't the Prime Minister appoint a JPC? And JPC is not something which have not happened in the past. In the Bofors scam, while the Congress was in power, the Bofors scam came out. Opposition, then the BJP asked for JPC. And Congress granted it, and JPC went through. And then in 1987, 1992, Harshad Mehta scam, Congress was in power. Allegations were leveled on the Congress Prime Minister then, and JPC was then also formed in 2001. Ketan Mehta scam, JPC was formed. 2003, JPC was formed. 2G Spectrum scam, the so-called scam, 2011, JPC was formed. Again, in Augusta Western in 2013, JPC was demanded by the then opposition, the BJP, and Congress granted it. What is a big deal? You are the biggest bhari, you are the biggest orator of this country. That is taken. But by countering Congress, by attacking Congress, the demand, a simple demand of JPC does not end. That's a simple demand. And if we don't demand in the parliament, where the parliamentarians are going to demand this? It's a question of Indian security, Indian citizen security, and answer it through JPC. That's it. A simple question.
Okay, let Karan Verma come in on that. Karan Verma, important point is that at the end of the day, the questions pertaining to the entire Adani episode have not been answered. That's the principal complaint that opposition leaders have made after the Prime Minister's speech, because neither in the Lok Sabha nor in the Rajya Sabha has he addressed those issues. And also, of course, the demand for the JPC is a legitimate one, Manasvi Thapar says, because it has happened in the past when there are allegations against the Prime Minister that there have been such JPCs. That has been the past precedent as well, and BJP too has demanded it when it was in the opposition. Please respond to those two questions.
Madhav, no responsible Prime Minister would ever comment about a private entity and instill or diffuse confidence of the investors. These are sensitive matters. And secondly, we don't need a dubious research firm, a foreign dubious research firm which faces an inquiry under the Department of Justice in US itself. We don't want a report from them for guiding us as to whether we should have a JPC or we should not have a JPC. The SEBI has investigated 70 different charges against the promoters themselves, the different entities related to the promoters, all the companies, and it has given a clean chit to Adani. Besides that, there have been two matters where the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence has filed an investigation and they got an appellate tribunal judgment in their favor. It was further challenged in the Honorable Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ratified the order of the appellate tribunal. In fact, Adani has also faced an investigation by the Karnataka Lokayu. So we have to have faith in our institutions. There are legal frameworks, there are regulators. Manasvi is a known litigant. He can go and file a complaint tomorrow, and our courts will decide what has to happen. We are not going to be guided by some dubious research firm. So no responsible Prime Minister would ever talk about
the legal system apart, the Parliament is also about accountability, Karan Verma. To that extent, certainly opposition has every right to ask questions inside the House when they feel that there are questions about propriety or conduct as far as government or any official in the government is concerned. But we'll have to leave it there for the moment. I'd like to thank Manasvi as well as Karan for joining us. We're slipping into a quick break. More news on the other side. Stay tuned.